What's up in War Eagle War Report family? You got Ike Jones. We're in here doing another Facts or Not Friday. This will go live for everybody else tomorrow. But if you're in here today, hop in here with me. Y'all know how we do right here, War Report style. Just drop it on them.
You are now listening to the War Report. Drop.
Yes, indeed. We are here live on the Auburn Express, powered by the War Report, doing a little Facts or Not Friday, South Alabama edition. Brought to you as always by the good folks over at the Rogue Shop. Make sure when you head over there to America's #1 online dispensary, rogueshop.com, you use code REPORT. That'll get you 15% off. Whether it is sleep, stress, pain, or anxiety relief, the Rogue Shop has some herbal supplements that can help with all of those things. Thank you to those of you who are in here live with your guy on a Friday afternoon. Again, this is going to go live for everybody else tomorrow. So Saturday morning, it is game day for those of you who are rewatching this. And thank you so much for those of you who are tuning in. We're going all the way live with this right here in the comment section. So go ahead and drop your questions, facts or not style, in the comments, and I will answer them to the best of my ability right here live for you all. Thank you so much to the War Report family who are in here with me. If you haven't already, please go ahead and share the content with somebody so that we can get more people in here and more folks answering questions. If you are a part of the Green Name Gang, after I sign off from the show officially, stay tuned. The stream is not going to end. I got some Green Name Gang activity for y'all. So y'all make sure y'all stay locked in right here with your boy, Ike Jones. Anyway, facts and all questions, drop them in here in the live chat and we will get those answered. Make sure your question starts with facts or not, and then the rest of whatever you want to say, and make it easier for me to see those in the chat. Because people will be chatting all kinds of stuff. So if it doesn't start with facts or not, it will make it more difficult for me to see it in the chat. So either put FON or facts or not, and it will make it very easy for me. As my guy Beat Georgia comes in with the first one here, who says facts or not, 100+ yards from Omar Mabson. Great question. Damari Alston is scheduled to be a game time decision for this one. So I don't know whether or not he's going to play. Hugh was pretty clear that he was going to be more of if we need him to play kind of guy. So I do expect the bulk of the carries to go to Cobb and Mabson in this game. I am going to go with a nah on Mabson getting to 100 yards, not because I don't believe he's talented enough. I just don't know that he's going to get enough carries to break 100 yards. But I do think that Auburn is going to have the ability to have a prolific running attack in this game. I do wonder kind of what the passing attack is going to be in this one. I'm very interested to see what that's going to look like, what South Alabama is going to do defensively. I'm going to go nah on 100 yards for Mabson in this one, though. All right. Lindsey Turner says facts or not, we actually see Auburn's real offense this week. I'm going to go nah on this one as well. I don't think that they intend to unveil too much of what you are going to see in SEC play for this game. I think it's going to be more of take what the defense gives you, very vanilla stuff in this game, much to the chagrin of a lot of Auburn fans that want to see Auburn open it up and see some creative play calling and all that kind of stuff. I don't think this is a game where Auburn should have to use any of that stuff. Honestly, as much as I respect South Alabama and the talent that they're going to bring out there on this roster, I do think that Auburn is talented enough to not have to do a bunch of that stuff. So I don't think that the quote unquote real offense will show itself this week. Let's see. James Barnett jumps in, says facts or not, Jackson Arnold throws for 200 yards and runs for 100 yards. Ooh, this is a good question, James. I do expect to see Jackson Arnold play. Jackson played through 3 quarters pretty much in the game last week versus Ball State. I don't anticipate that being much different in this game. So he will have enough snaps and opportunity to throw for 2 and run for 1. I think I am going to go with facts on this one. I actually do think that Jackson Arnold will run a little bit more in this game than he did versus Ball State. I think that the opportunities are going to be there for him to be able to do that. And I do think that he'll have the opportunity. The 200 passing yards is the one I'm a little more reluctant on, actually, than the 100 rushing yards. I think he can get the 100 rushing yards just with the way in which I expect South Alabama to defend in this game. The 200 passing yards, I'm a little more reluctant on. I don't know how much they're going to actually open it up in this game in the pass offense, but I'll go facts on that one because I do think he'll get enough snaps to make that happen. Let's see here. Tony Williams jumps in and says, Factional, will Alvin Henderson get some meaningful playing time in this game? Another interesting one. Looking at what happened in that Ball State in terms of the depth chart, Justin Jones was the next guy off of the bench after you saw Jeremiah Cobb, a little bit of Darrell Robinson, and then Omar Mabson. Justin Jones was the next running back off the bench. If Damari Alston does not play in this game, which I don't anticipate him playing, you're going to have Jeremiah Cobb starting. Actually, I'm going to go and I'll say, meaningful snaps. I don't know that he'll get it in this game, and I'll give you the reasons why. Again, Damari probably won't be starting, but Jeremiah Cobb will be. Your next guy off the bench looks as if it's going to be Omar Mabson. I do anticipate that, meaning the next person off of the bench is going to be Justin Jones, which will mean likely no significant snaps for Alvin Henderson unless this turns into a blowout and they want to preserve a little bit of the running backs that they have in the room, but it'll have to be a first half blowout in my opinion. If they get into the third quarter and they're still using first team players in this game, I don't anticipate them getting to a fourth string running back for any significant amount of time in this one. So I'll go with nah on that one for Alvin Henderson and significant playing snaps or meaningful snaps in this game. Let's see. Heavy jumps in. Facts or nah, 2+ turnovers for the Auburn defense in this game. This is a really good question as well. As you guys may have noted from last week, I'm not in we're going to force a lot of turnover space right now for this defense. So I'm going to go nah on this one. 2+ turnovers. It is a team in South Alabama that has put the ball on the ground. And I do think that this Auburn defense is hungry for turnovers. I might go with a push on this and say they may get 2. I do think that there will be at least 1 turnover forced. I'm reluctant to say there'll be a second, so I will go with nah on this one. But I don't think it's going to be for a lack of opportunities. I do think that there will be at least 1 or 2. Like I can foresee either a forced fumble recovery and a dropped interception, or an interception and a forced fumble with an offensive recovery by South Alabama being a situation in this game. So I will go nah, though, on that one. David Hunt, facts or nah, the defense holds South Alabama's run game under 100. This would be a prolific feat for the way that South Alabama is running. This Auburn defense has been tenacious. I'm going to go with facts, and that's a little bit of a bug, I know, on that one right there, because I do respect South Alabama's run game, and I do anticipate them turning around and handing the ball off 20 or 30 times to their lead back and a couple of extra times on jet sweeps and Bishop Davenport on run situations. So it's going to, with the number of attempts that South Alabama will get, I do think that this will be a situation where it's going to be difficult to hold them under 100. But I do think that that is kind of the mindset of where this defense is, where it's like, listen, the run game's not going to work. Y'all going to have to throw the ball in this game. And if the score is in the range that I think it will be, where Auburn's up by multiple touchdowns in the third quarter, I think the pass is going to have to be the way in which South Alabama is going to have to get into this game. So I will go facts on that one. A little reluctant on that one, though, because, again, I think the number of attempts that South Alabama will have, and then once you get into garbage time, if it is a game that's out of hand, they may, break off a long run or something like that. So I think that's going to be a difficult proposition, not impossible. If it were a 4-quarter game, I would feel, meaning like Auburn is not scoring a bunch in this game, I'd feel a little bit more in the space of saying a firm facts on that, but I'll go facts just with a little bit of a bug. Heavy back in here says, facts or not, Perry gets a touchdown. Will Perry Thompson get a touchdown in this game? Whew. I'm gonna go nah on this one. I'm going to go nah on this one. Um, I do feel as if right now the depth chart looks a little bit more Cam Coleman, Horatio Fields on the outside. I do think this will be a game where Perry Thompson will get multiple targets in this one. The question about Perry getting a touchdown for me, I think, is more likely of whether or not he's in there with Deuce Knight and has the ability in that second unit to get on the field and possibly score there. Um, but I'm going to go nah just because I feel as if it's a little more likely that there will be rushing touchdowns during that portion than it is a passing touchdown. And if it is a passing touchdown, I don't know that Perry's going to be the guy to get it. That was a difficult one, though. Like, I don't really have I'm trying to work my way to logic on that one. I don't really have a bunch, but that's what I'll go with because you ask. Brian Weathers jumps in. Facts or nah, we get our first pick out of the talented DB core. I am looking forward to seeing the first interception, but I think I'm going to go nah on this one. Unless it happens when a backup quarterback gets in there. Bishop Davenport just has been very reluctant to throw the ball into harm's way. And they don't throw the ball a lot. And so because of the limited opportunities, I think that you will have as a defensive back unit to get those interceptions, unless it comes off of like a tip pass or something like that. I'm going to go nah on this one. Again, I don't feel as if traditionally or historically DJ Durkin's defenses have had a lot of interceptions, and they didn't have a ton of them last year under him. I don't know that that changes, even though I do feel that this defensive backfield is very talented. I just don't know that they're going to get a lot of opportunities for those interceptions. And you have a quarterback in Bishop Davenport who does not put the ball in harm's way. He's over a 70% guy, hasn't thrown an interception yet this season. I don't feel like that's going to happen in this game. So I'll go nah on this one. Let's see. Beat Georgia comes back in. Facts or nah, Cam doubles up and gets his first and second TD of the season. Ooh, this is a good question. Good question. I'll go nah on the multiple touchdown game from Cam Coleman in this one. I do think that a lot of the damage that's going to happen for Auburn in this game is going to be via the run from both Jackson Arnold and a couple of running backs. I'm not putting it outside of the realm of possibility that you get like a score via the air. Whether Cam is the guy that gets that or not, I don't know, but I do think that there will be a passing touchdown from Auburn in this game. Multiple for Cam Coleman. I'm not ready to go there today. I'll say nah on that one. Let's see. What else do we have here? A lot of great questions today, y'all. Boom, boom. Another one asking about Cam. Let's see. Interesting one here from Jeb, who says facts or not, Auburn rushes for more yards than passing yards. Based upon my last answer, I think you know where I'm going with this one. I'm going to say facts on this one. I think that Auburn has a big day on the ground. It has not been the most effective thing for USA to keep teams from being able to rush, particularly when they have a quarterback who can get outside of the pocket with some athleticism. So I do think this is going to be another Baylor-esque game for Auburn where the rushing yards will outpace the passing yards in this one. So I'm going to go with facts on that. Let's see. What else do we have? Another one from Beat Georgia here who says facts or nah, including tight ends have receivers, including tight ends, have more touchdowns than running backs. It's going to lean into my last answer. I'm going to go nah on this one. I just feel as if this is going to be a rushing thing for Auburn in this game. So I won't go with multiple. I mean, even if there are multiple passing touchdowns, I think I picked this game somewhere in the 38-point range for Auburn, which means I think there's going to be probably around 7 touchdowns scored. And I think probably 4 of them will be on the ground. And so, yeah, I think that there may be multiple passing touchdowns, but I do not think that there will be more I think there will be more rushing touchdowns and passing touchdowns in this game. Let's see. A couple of questions in here. If I skipped your question, it's probably because it's very similar to a question that someone has already asked. So I'm trying not to duplicate that stuff in here. So apologies if it feels as if I am ignoring your question. Let's see. Juan Mena or Mania. I don't know if there's supposed to be a tilde there above the N, but with Juan being the first name, that is very like wrong of me to assume, but I'm going to go with Mania. Says facts or nah, Jackson Arnold's longest throw of the season happens in this game. What is Jackson Arnold's longest throw of the season so far? I don't even know what that is. So it's difficult for me to answer that question in any real confidence, but heck, let's say facts. He gets a long throw of the season in this one. I think 40 yards might end up being like, and the seam route to Malcolm was like 20 something yards. I think the big shot to Cam was like in the high 20s. I don't know that he's had a pass that has gone for more than 30 yards so far. We'll give him a big throw this game. We'll go facts on that one for old Jackson getting a big touchdown in there. Or excuse me, a big throw in there. So but yeah, I think it would only have to be in the mid 30s to get there. So we'll say that that'll happen in this game. Let's see. What else do we have here? Beat Georgia, facts or not, 50+ yard touchdown. Ooh, I think that's possible. I think that's possible. I'm a bug a little bit on this one and say facts. So and I'll even give you how I think it's going to happen. It's going to be a rushing play that will go for that much. I think it might actually be a Jackson Arnold run for more than 50 in this game. I think Jackson Arnold might break them off for a 50 piece on a run at some point in time in this game. So give me Jackson Arnold with a 50+ yard situation in this one. I'll go facts on that one right there. Heavy says facts or not, Sylvester Smith decleats some poor player from the opposing team. I'll go nah on this one, man. He had an amazing game in this last one. I don't know if we're gonna see a repeat performance from him in that manner, but but I do hope this game he is bringing his arms to the tackles a little bit more because these guys at South Alabama are a little bit more prone to get through an arm tackle or a big hit and keep moving. So I want to see him, wrap up and drive, pads and everything, bring his feet to the pro party, everything, and not just lunge his body at stuff. So, as long as he's tackling solidly, I really don't care about the decleating, even though it was fun to watch. So I'll go with a nah on that one though. See what else. Glenn Collins, facts or not, Keldrick has a multi-sack game. He has yet to do this so far this year. They're not throwing the ball a lot in this one. I'm going to go nah on this. Again, not because Keldrick's not talented. I think that defenses are trying to double team him a little bit more this season. And I don't think South Alabama is going to throw the ball enough for this to be a reality for Keldrick Falk in this game, unfortunately. So I am going to go nah on a multi-sack game for Keldrick, but I would love to see that happen because I think my man's is due. I think we're going to have to get into SEC play before we see some multi-sack games from Keldrick Falk because I do believe teams are going to kind of go away from double teaming him a little bit more during SEC play as they start to see kind of how they're scheming up this stuff along the defensive line with some of these twist stunts and all that. So I'll go no. Let's see here. All right, I'm going to do a couple more here. Wiggins, facts or not, Auburn scores on a kick return. This is a tough one. Didn't mean to put that extra one up there. Sorry, facts or not. Again, Auburn scores on a kick return. Tough one here for me because, and like I said in the last game, I didn't think that they were going to get a kick return more so, but I didn't think they would try to kick to Pleasant in that last game. They did kick to him twice, and he didn't return either for it. I haven't watched, honestly, South Alabama's kick return. Like, I haven't seen how their kick special teams are doing on kickoffs, of whether or not they're getting it all the way to the end zone, all that sort of thing. I'm going to reluctantly say nah to this one, though, because I don't have enough information to do anything but bug on that. And I'm not going to go full bug mode on this one. But, y'all know the bug is in me strong. But I'm going to go with nah on this one. All right, last one here. Faction more Auburn tackles for loss than USA touchdowns. Ooh, love this question. Full bug from me. Facts on this. Auburn has been tackle for loss machines in this one's season so far. So I think it's going to continue to happen. I think that Auburn will have, I don't think that South Alabama scores more than 2 touchdowns in this game, and Auburn will certainly have more than 2 tackles for loss in this one. So definitely give me a big facts on that one. All right. That's it for the facts and our portion of this. Make sure that if you are in here, that you tap in with the good folks over at Rogue Shop. RogueShop.com is the place where America's #1 online dispensary. Use code REPORT when you do. You get 15% off over there when you do that. Also, make sure that you are liking this video and subscribing to the channel if you're watching this later. And make sure that you go ahead and share that content with somebody else. We'll be back at you with more great War Report content later. Green Name Gang, stick around. I got a little more for you. But for everybody else, thank y'all so much for dropping in with me. And as always, War Eagle.